This call is now being recorded.
Hello, this is Randy here, and today is February 6th, 2022, and it's another Sunday here at St. Lucie County Jail. And, in the past couple of days, I've been trying to refocus on being more conscious. Now, what I mean is being aware and being present, and that means living in the present moment, paying attention to my breathing and stuff like that, As I've said before, this is easier said than done. Just like controlling the ego, which I talk a lot about. The ego is just so powerful, and it takes over us, and it really dictates, much of our actions, or really our reactions, I guess I should say. It keeps us in an unconscious state, and this, unfortunately, this is how much of the world is, and this is why we're usually caught up with doing instead of being. However, just by simply being aware of the ego, we notice it is basically how we heighten our awareness. So, like catching ourselves when we react to what someone says to us or about us, observing our own reaction to people's conversations, paying attention to the physical feelings in our body in different situations. So it's kind of interesting. So the more aware we are, the more conscious we are, and the happier and more at peace that we can become. And although it can be a challenge, especially in my situation, we can find peace in all situations. And here we go. Now, just hearing myself say that, right, making that last statement, I wonder if my own ego was involved. I said especially in my situation, as if to say my situation is worse than yours because I'm in jail, and most of you listening are probably not, right? But that may not necessarily be true. I don't know how someone else feels or what they are going through. Life is difficult for people everywhere, whether they're in jail or prison or those who are free. And what does it mean to truly be free? Life's problems don't just magically disappear. So that's what I mean, though. So anyway, I've been studying the ego and trying to learn different ways of finding inner peace for many years now. Way before I was in this situation here. But being locked up, it actually allows me to focus a bit more because the world has so many distractions to keep us unconscious. My favorite book on this topic is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And I think I've mentioned it in other podcasts, but this is my absolute favorite. I keep it with me at all times. I've probably read it at least 4 times since being here in St. Lucie County, and I just keep rereading it. The subtitle is Awakening Your Life's Purpose. And it's just one of those books you have to read at least twice because the first time isn't enough to grasp. And not because it's like that hard to understand. I think maybe because it's just different. The concepts are actually profoundly basic, but still easily forgotten as we become unconscious from the many distractions thrown at us every moment. Anyway, I'm reading the book again as always, and I'm on the chapter about what he calls the pain body. This is what Eckhart refers to as the close relative of the ego, but I always find it interesting. I think maybe reading it this time it's sinking in a bit more. It's only taken 4 or 5 or 6 times, right? But the concept of the pain body is that the remnants of pain left behind by every strong negative emotion that is not fully faced, accepted, or then let go of, they join together to form an energy field that lives in the very cells of our bodies. And this could be childhood pain, absorption of negative energy from our parents, or anything we picked up throughout our lives. This could be human suffering by entire countries or large groups of people. Certain countries have apparently stronger pain bodies than others, because the world has a history of warfare, torture, and suffering. I mean, from the Holocaust and the continued effects of Nazi Germany to Native Americans who were more or less wiped out when European settlers came to steal the land, or then, of course, we have our own personal tragedies that we carry with us, But the problem is this pain body in us actually feeds on negativity. It loves it. And, so we love the drama. It's not who we really are. And the media and the movie makers know this. Why are we so obsessed with murder and violence in movies? why are we so attracted to drama? Well, just watch or read the news, right? Instead of bringing us together, it's designed to separate us, to put us at war against anyone who was not exactly like us, or at least who we don't perceive to be like us. Christians versus Muslims, right? Black people versus white people, Democrats versus Republicans, people who are for COVID vaccines versus those opposed to it. It's pretty crazy. The ego and the pain body feeds off the drama and our stories of poor, unhappy me. And I'm a prime example. This situation with me is unfair and unfortunate, but did I make it worse by fighting against it? Did I attract more persecution and unfair treatment by focusing on that? Perhaps. Does that mean we should just ignore being treated wrong or when bad things happen? Of course not. But maybe just focusing on the facts without added emotion could lead us through those situations in a better way. I can't say I know for sure, but I do know that when I was prosecuted in Lee County, the more I fought back, the worse it got. And it's not, the fact that I was defending myself. It was how I was doing it. I let my emotions get in the way. Now, that doesn't mean it was less unfair, but without the ego and the pain body and my story of poor old me, I feel maybe I would have had more success. I think I would have made more sound decisions, maybe. Then again, maybe this is just how it was supposed to happen, part of God's bigger plan for me. But here's another example, though. So yesterday I'm reading the newspaper, and I saw the story of a guy here in St. Lucie County who was convicted and ordered to serve 23 years for stabbing his wife to death a couple of years ago. And my first thought was, this guy murdered his wife and got half the sentence I got, and I have a nonviolent third-degree felony involving allegedly fraudulent paperwork, no real damages, and it only carries 5 years. So you see how the ego and pain body jumped right in? So in my mind, I see this guy, Kenroy Campbell is his name. He killed his wife, Valerie, while their son was in bed sleeping. And he was treated better than me. And then I see his restitution of $11,000 was even lower than mine when I didn't damage anyone or take money from anyone. The news paints me like someone who stole millions, when none of the alleged victims had a single penny taken from them. This is so unfair. Why me, right? So this is, but then I start reading Kenroy Campbell's story. He lost his longtime job as a truck driver a month before the killing, and he wasn't the same. He had no criminal record or history of mental illness. However, it appears he was depressed, worried about supporting his family. Then I start to wonder, did Kenroy Campbell kill his wife, or was it his pain body that temporarily took over? And obviously he took a deal and had some kind of temporary insanity after being evaluated by some psych doctors and stuff. But, have you ever done something out of character and wondered what came over you? Or seen someone you love do something that is very much unlike them? Anyway, it just got me to thinking more about things. The more we are aware of our ego and the pain we carry, the more at peace we will be. And, Eckhart Tolle says that suppressed pain bodies are extremely toxic, even more than openly active ones. And, I know people who hold their feelings in until they explode out of nowhere. It's almost like shaking a can of soda. He also makes an interesting statement that I guess I'll leave you with on this topic. And hold on, I got it written down here. All right, so he says, there is only one perpetrator of evil on the planet, and that's human unconsciousness. And then he talks about forgiveness and with forgiveness, our victim identities actually dissolve and our true power emerges. So maybe that's, why forgiveness was Jesus' primary message, right? Even when he was on the cross. We free ourselves when we forgive our enemies. And, and I'm not even sure why I decided to share all of this, but it just kind of came to me, and I found it interesting, and maybe you might, be interested too. But anyway, again, that book that I was talking about is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and that's Tolle. Eckhart is Eckhart. But it's, for anyone who's interested and would like to check it out, it's definitely, like I said, one of my favorites. But all right, well, that's all I've got for now. I don't know how much longer I'll be here at the St. Lucie County Jail, but If I don't leave this week, I'll probably be doing another recording soon. All right. So thanks for listening, and all the best to all of you. And be well. Bye.
Thank you for using GTL.